As a tit-for-tat trade spat between the United States and China continues, former Joint Chiefs of Staff Chairman Admiral Michael Mullen called Beijing a growing giant, telling VOA's Greta Van Susteren its growth is key to how the world is shaped.
How China grows and what our relationship is long-term is really critical. If it's constructive, if we can have a constructive relationship with them, then I think that's good for the world. If it's destructive, then I think it's really bad for the world. And that's what we've got to sort out. I actually believe that in this century, the most important bilateral relationship globally is the one between the U.S. and China.
The widely contested waters of the South China Sea remain in dispute, with countries like Japan and the Philippines looking to the U.S. for help in resisting maritime expansion by China. Daniel Twining, who previously advised Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice on foreign policy, says Beijing's dominance in the region puts the world economy at risk.
China does want to go global. It wants to project out of Asia. It wants to wedge apart the U.S. and its allies over time, and we've got to be very mindful about that.
Joshua Walker, who heads global strategic initiatives at the Eurasia Group, says China's interests are both economic and military-driven.
If you control that sea lane, it basically breaks up the entire international liberal order that the United States set up after World War II. And what's interesting is U.S. strategy now is trying to link both India and Japan as kind of these main focal points in the Indo-Pacific and bring all of our allies together.
Some say China's economic rise is due in part to a broader leadership void on the world stage.
The people that are moving the needle right now, two of the people moving the needle are Xi Jinping and Putin, and they're the wrong guys as far as I'm concerned.
Last month, Chinese lawmakers voted to abolish presidential term limits, paving the way for President Xi to rule indefinitely. On the heels of his re-election, Russia's President Putin is set to stay in office for the next 6 years. Elizabeth Cherneff, VOA News, Washington.